In order to take possession of the girl's body, the man first waited until no one was around, then forcibly dragged the girl into his car. He then knocked her unconscious with a heavy punch and immediately drove to his own residence. To prevent the girl from seeing her surroundings, the man tightly wrapped her in a blanket, then threw her into a cramped room less than 4 square meters in size. After finishing, the man closed the door. Soon, Lisa, who was only 10 years old, woke up from her coma. Her young mind had no way of understanding what had just happened. She looked around in confusion, not knowing what to do. However, inside the cramped room, there was nothing except a single lamp and a water closet. Terrified, she could only keep trying to open the door. Clearly, the man had no intention of letting her go. Staring at the only air vent above her head, Lisa shouted for help with all her might, but the only response was the silence around her. Helpless and voiceless, Lisa could only curl up in the corner of the room. At this moment, she had no idea that she would spend a grueling 3,096 days in this tiny cell. In order to gain her trust, Wolfgang prepared a mattress that was neither too thick nor too thin, and carefully laid sheets on it for Lisa. He then brought her some simple food, and Lisa quietly voiced her request. But Wolfgang ignored her and closed the door directly. Lisa took off her coat and put it into a bag, then made herself a simple pillow. Suddenly, the light was turned off. Frightened, Lisa carefully groped around in the darkness, calling out for her mother over and over. By the 3rd day, Wolfgang had already started telling Lisa bedtime stories. Seeing the girl in front of him gradually let down her guard, Wolfgang seemed quite satisfied. Before leaving, he even gave Lisa a goodnight kiss. Meanwhile, news of Lisa's disappearance was already being reported on television. Lisa's mother spent her days in tears, blaming herself for letting Lisa go to school alone. Meanwhile, Wolfgang and his mother also saw the news about Lisa on TV. One day, Lisa wrote a letter and handed it to Wolfgang. She wanted him to send it to her mother's address so her mother wouldn't worry. But when Wolfgang realized that Lisa still wanted to go home, he told Lisa, "You're just unwanted trash." But nobody pays anything for you, do they? They don't even have sufficient funds or financial resources for your beloved parents. All they truly have to do, in this particular situation, is simply go to the nearest bank, and that's absolutely all it genuinely takes for every single person involved to willingly and readily shell out their hard-earned money without any further hesitation or delay. Because Lisa's words made Wolfgang extremely angry, she shoved Lisa's head into the sink as a warning to make her give up the idea of going home. After venting her anger, Wolfgang crawled out through the narrow tunnel, then slowly closed the heavy cement and iron door, blocked the entrance to the secret room with a safe, and then placed a cabinet in front of the safe. These layers of barriers made it impossible for the weak Lisa to escape. Worried that Lisa might leave marks on her, Wolfgang would always wear an extra jacket each time, and finally cover the basement entrance with a wooden board. After finishing everything, Wolfgang would act as if nothing had happened and sit with her mother to enjoy some coffee. At this moment, 2 police officers rang the doorbell at Wolfgang's house. The clue they had received was that a white van had abducted Lisa. Therefore, the police needed to check all the vans in the area, but the cautious Wolfgang had already filled her van with work-related clutter. As a result, the 2 officers found nothing suspicious. While the police were taking photos of the van, Wolfgang was clearly a bit flustered, but when questioned by the police, her watertight answers quickly led them to rule her out as a suspect. Little did they know, Lisa, whom they had been desperately searching for, was right there, only a short distance away from them. Time passed again, 183 days. Lisa began to imitate the teacher she remembered, giving lessons every day to her only 2 pieces of clothing. She drew a cat on the wall, and then drew a handle and a lock on the door. She fantasized about escaping from there, about the world outside. But all of this was just her innocent imagination. Inside the secret room, Wolfgang had installed a listening device on the wall, so she could monitor Lisa's every move at any time. However, this was just another way to further brainwash Lisa. He would deliberately interrupt Lisa's talking to herself,